How to automate rent collection. Late rent payments are silently destroying your landlord business, and most property owners have no idea just how much time and money they are hemorrhaging every single month chasing tenants who should already be paying on time. But what if I told you that the solution to this problem has been sitting right in front of you? And today we are going to break it all down together so you never have to send another awkward payment reminder again. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Nelius, and this channel is dedicated to helping property owners like you manage your investments more effectively, generate consistent income, and build the kind of rental business that actually works for your life rather than against it. We talk about real strategies, real systems, and real results, and today is no different. So, if you have not already done it, please hit that subscribe button right now and click the bell icon so you get notified every single time we drop new content. Because trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming up in this series. Now, let us get into it. Rent collection is one of those tasks that sounds simple on paper but becomes an absolute nightmare in practice for so many landlords. You send a reminder, you wait, nothing happens. You send another reminder, you feel awkward about it, your tenant feels awkward about it, and suddenly this weird tension builds up in what should be a professional relationship. Sound familiar? You are not alone, and the good news is this problem is entirely solvable. So today I am walking you through exactly how to automate your rent collection process from start to finish. We are going to look at real case studies from real landlords who made this shift and completely transformed their experience as property owners. And if you stay with me past the 4-minute mark, I am also going to share something special with you, something that goes way beyond today's video and gives you a complete roadmap for mastering property management at every level. So stick around for that. But first, let us talk about why manual rent collection is such a problem, because understanding the problem is the first step towards solving it permanently. When you are chasing rent manually, you are not just losing time. Although you absolutely are losing time, you are also losing psychological energy. Every time you have to pick up the phone or send a text or knock on a door, you are spending emotional capital that adds up over weeks and months. You start to feel like a debt collector rather than a professional property investor. And the worst part is that inconsistency in your collection process actually trains tenants to pay late. When there are no automatic consequences and the system depends entirely on your personal follow-up, tenants subconsciously learn that the deadline is flexible. Automation changes that dynamic completely. The system does the reminding, the system does the following up, and suddenly late payments are no longer a personal conversation between you and your tenant. They are just a system doing exactly what systems are supposed to do. All right, let us get into our first case study, and this one is going to resonate with a lot of you. Case study number 1. Sandra manages 7 residential properties on her own. She had been doing everything manually for years, collecting EFT payments, sending WhatsApp reminders, and tracking everything in a spreadsheet. On average, 3 or 4 of her 7 tenants would pay late every single month. She was spending roughly 4 to 6 hours each month chasing payments, and the stress of it was making her seriously consider selling properties she had worked incredibly hard to acquire. She set up an automated rent collection system through a property management platform that sent payment reminders 3 days before rent was due on the due date and then escalating notices if payment was not received. Within 60 days of implementing this system, her late payment rate dropped from around 50% of tenants to just one tenant who had a genuine cash flow issue. She recovered those 4 to 6 hours every single month and reinvested that time into finding her next investment property. Sandra told me that the automation did not just save her time, it changed the entire dynamic of her relationship with her tenants because the system was doing the heavy lifting, not her. Case study number 2. Meet David. David owns a small block of flats with 12 units. He was using a managing agent, but he was paying high fees and still dealing with constant admin because the agent was not very tech forward in their approach. David decided to bring certain functions back in-house, specifically payment collection using automated software. He integrated a payment platform that allowed tenants to set up recurring debit orders directly linked to the lease agreement terms. Tenants received automated onboarding instructions when they moved in, explaining exactly how the system worked. The result was remarkable. Within the first quarter, 11 out of 12 tenants were paying automatically on their debit order dates. The one exception was a tenant who had a bank account issue, which was resolved within 2 weeks. David reduced his managing agent fees by renegotiating the scope of services, saving himself over 3,000 Rand per month while simultaneously improving his collection rate. He told me this was the single most impactful operational change he had ever made to his property business. Now, before we get into case studies 3 and 4, I want to pause here and talk about the mechanics of how these automation systems actually work, because understanding the infrastructure helps you make better decisions about which tools to use. At its core, automated rent collection involves three main components. First, you need a payment channel, which is essentially how money moves from the tenant to you. This could be a debit order system, an online payment portal, or a third-party property management platform that handles transactions. Second, you need an automated communication layer. This is what sends reminders, confirms receipt of payments, and escalates notices for non-payment without you having to lift a finger. Third, you need a reporting and tracking dashboard, so you can see at a glance exactly who has paid, who has not, and what stage of the collection process each tenant is at. When all three components work together, rent collection stops being a task you do and starts being a process that runs itself. The goal is to get to a place where you only need to intervene in genuinely exceptional circumstances, and for everything else, the system handles it. Now, this is a really good moment to mention something that I am incredibly excited about. If you are watching this video and thinking that you want to go deeper than just rent collection automation, if you want to learn how to run your entire property management operation like a professional, then I have something built specifically for you. Down in the description below this video, you will find a link to my Effective Property Management membership. This is a comprehensive course membership where I walk you through every dimension of managing your properties effectively, from tenant screening and lease agreements to maintenance management, financial reporting, and yes, full automation systems like the ones we are discussing today. It is designed for landlords who are serious about building a sustainable and profitable property business. So go check that out in the description. The link is right there waiting for you. Now let us continue with case study number 3. Case study number 3. Priya inherited 2 properties from her late mother and found herself suddenly being a landlord without any prior experience. She was overwhelmed by all of it, but the rent collection piece was what kept her up at night. She had 2 tenants who were taking advantage of her inexperience, often paying 10 to 15 days late with minimal explanation. After watching content like this and doing her own research, Priya implemented a simple but powerful automated system. She used a widely available property management app that handled everything from lease storage to payment reminders and late fee calculations. She set the system to automatically apply a late fee after a grace period of 3 days as stipulated in her lease agreements. She also set up automated payment confirmation messages so tenants received instant receipts. The late fee automation was the game changer. Once tenants realized the system would automatically charge them for late payment and that there was no negotiating with software, their behavior changed almost immediately. Within 2 months, both tenants were paying on or before the due date. Priya told me that the system gave her the confidence to enforce her own lease terms without feeling like she was being a difficult landlord. The system was simply doing what the contract said it would do. Case study number 4 involves a slightly different scenario, and I think it is one of the most instructive examples we have. Meet Marcus. Marcus owns a mix of residential and commercial properties, 8 in total. His challenge was not just late payment, but the administrative chaos that came with managing multiple payment schedules, different lease renewal dates, and inconsistent tenant communication. He was using 4 different spreadsheets and 2 different email threads to try and keep track of everything, and it was falling apart. Marcus implemented a cloud-based property management platform that consolidated everything in one place. He automated rent collection, lease renewal reminders, and maintenance request tracking all within the same system. The change in his rent collection specifically was dramatic. He went from spending upward of 8 hours a month on payment, chasing, and reconciliation to under 30 minutes. His cash flow became predictable for the first time in years because he could see exactly what was coming in and when. But perhaps more importantly, Marcus told me that he finally felt like a professional property investor rather than someone who was constantly putting out fires. The automation gave him the mental clarity to start thinking strategically about growing his portfolio instead of just surviving it. Now, let us talk about how you actually get started if you are not already using any of these systems, because I want to make this as practical and actionable as possible for you. Step 1 is to audit your current collection process honestly. Write down every single step you currently take when rent is due, from the initial reminder through to the final payment confirmation. You need to see the full picture before you can streamline it. Step 2 is to review your lease agreements. Make sure that your lease clearly specifies the due date, the grace period, any applicable late fees, and the accepted payment methods. Your automation system can only enforce what your lease contract actually says, so your paperwork needs to be solid first. Step 3 is to choose your tools. There are several good property management platforms available depending on your location and the size of your portfolio. Look for something that handles both the payment processing and the automated communication in one place. Read reviews, test free trials, and choose a platform that your tenants can realistically navigate without friction. Step 4 is to onboard your tenants properly. The transition to an automated system works best when your tenants understand exactly what to expect. Send a clear, friendly communication explaining how the new system works, what they need to do to set it up, and who to contact if they have questions. Step 5 is to monitor the system for the first 60 to 90 days and fine-tune as needed. Automation is not set it and forget it from day one. You want to make sure the reminders are going out on the right schedule, that payments are being processed correctly, and that any issues are getting flagged appropriately. If you follow these steps, you will be in a fundamentally different position as a landlord within a matter of months. The landlords in all 4 of our case studies today took action on exactly this kind of framework, and their businesses changed because of it. Here is what I want you to walk away with today. Late rent is not just a financial inconvenience. It is a symptom of a system that has not been built properly yet. And the beautiful thing about that is that systems can be fixed. You do not need more willpower or better conversations with your tenants. You need better infrastructure, and that infrastructure is available to you right now. If today's video gave you value, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more landlords who need exactly this kind of information. And if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Remember to check the link in the description for the Effective Property Management membership if you are ready to take your entire property operation to the next level. I am Nelius, and I will see you in the next video.